Tonight, the Memo turns up the volume to address the speakers of Parliament. Speakers who are speaking and acting from divergent sides of the expectation of them. The National Assembly's Moses Wetangula and the Senate's Amason Kingi. Both of these critical office holders have remained as party leaders of their respective political outfits. Wetangula is still the boss at Ford Kenya, while Kingi is still the man at the helm of the Pamoja African Alliance, PAA. Putting aside all big English legalese and cousin jargon that may be employed in seeking to sidestep basic realities, how should the public see you as objective and sober as a judge, yet you stagger in the inebriation of power, influence, political expediency and proximity to the executive throne? Speaker Kingi and Papa Waroma, pray tell, in what would be referred to as your esteemed view, would Elon Musk be an objective and fair referee in a match where Donald Trump is a contestant? Speakers, you cannot purport to being fair when you are openly and unapologetically seated at the high table of one side of the discourse. You are meant to be an objective, trusted umpire and not an ally. In all your wealth of knowledge, experience and material possessions, you cannot afford to be preaching the gospel of objectivity while living a life of desecration by bias and affiliation. You cannot serve two masters, the constitutional expectation and the executive. The country is, unfortunately, seeing more cases where the hallowed oaths of office are being reduced to hollow and ceremonial recitals, with the choir of politicians, those who are rubber stamps for the executive's wishes, singing the bed music in the performance of impunity during duty. A three-judge bench of the High Court chimed into this discourse when making a significant judgment, and among many other things, said that the simultaneous holding of the position of Speaker with that of the leader of political party and the leadership positions in the ruling political coalition, as is the case with Wetangula, reasonably evokes appearance bias. Further, the judges hold that the Wetangula situation undermines his neutrality role as the Speaker of the National Assembly and the independence of Parliament as a symbol of democracy. And this, they add, negatively impacts on Kenya's democratic standards as envisioned by the rule of law principle under Article 10(2)(a) of the Constitution. They close this section of their position in no unclear terms. They say that the dual role held by Moses Wetangula is therefore unlawful and unconstitutional. So from this, is it safe to say, or rather it is safe to say, that there is impunity at the highest level of this arm of government? While many may have been looking to Moses Wetangula to be like the biblical Moses and offer divine leadership out of the land of slavery, he is putting up a scene from a tragic movie where virtues are sacrificed at altars of Mtadu. This is not just about Moses Wetangula and Amason Kingi and their double standards. It is also about the fact that the country is meant to operate in line with the rule of law. Generations are dependent on the fidelity to this if they are to have fulfilling lives. It should not be that the leadership is enabling a culture of disregard for laws and duties that do not favor them. When critics, and even just the objective, say that Parliament is captured by the executive, it is not the view of detractors or haters, as the affected may choose to dismiss such truths as. It is the reality of looking at their actions, inactions, words, and all else through the lens of the law which is the unbiased party in the room. Mr. Wetangula, would it be unfair when people raise eyebrows and red flags when you, the Speaker, are presiding over a house where your party members are in the race to catch your eye? and even get favors and trips. Would you be believed to be objective when you are on vehicle rooftops in campaign-style roadside rallies alongside the president, the head of the arm of government? Yours is meant to oversight. When you are pushing his agenda and asking Kenyans to support the president, even when it is a very divisive matter at hand. Mr. Speaker, one of your most defining words should boomerang back to you. Order. Let not your political persuasions serve to disregard the rule of law, the doctrine of separation of powers, and the integrity of hallowed offices such as the one you occupy. Speakers of Parliament are meant to be politically neutral. But in Kenya, we have speakers who are neutering the neutrality that is expected of them. We close this memo with this. Order, Mr. Speaker. Order. That is the memo.